What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with the latest on your $600 second stimulus check update and your $2,000 third stimulus check update, as well as breaking news from President Donald Trump and the Republicans versus the Democrats that are now pushing for impeachment of President Donald Trump. Let's jump right into it. Don't forget to give this video a like down below. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. This way you won't miss out on new videos. Also, notice my new picture up there. It's a Rocky picture that has a saying that basically says, don't give up, keep pushing forward. That's how winning is done. And I think that's a very appropriate saying for 2020 and the start of 2021, that tough times don't last, tough people do. A U.S. Capitol, U.S. Washington, D.C. police officer has died following the riots in Washington, which now makes 5 different people that have passed away from the protests. And President Donald Trump just released a taped statement. Let me let you hear it.
Begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high, but now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Wow. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. It seems like that's an official concession speech from President Donald Trump about going through the transition of power now, and that he has officially kind of agreed that Joe Biden has won the election now. He says it's a time for healing and a time for us to work together going forward. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I know you have some. On that note, the Capitol Police chief has announced their resignation after the pro-Trump riots and after Nancy Pelosi called for the resignation. Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund said Thursday he will resign later this month after the police force failed to contain the mobs who tried to prevent Congress from ratifying President-elect Joe Biden's victory. Sund has only been on the job for 7 months when he resigns effectively January 16th. Also, it appears that Donald Trump was able to either get his Twitter account back or was allowed to post this video on Twitter. Remember, apparently his Twitter account, his Facebook, and his Instagram has been suspended until after Inauguration Day on January 20th, which is kind of crazy that these social media companies can do that. But President Donald Trump was able to post that to his Twitter account. The latest on the $600 second stimulus check update and the $2,000 third stimulus check update. Millions of stimulus debit cards are being mailed out this week already. Let me know if you have received one in the mail already. They come from a white envelope and may have the Treasury seal on it. You may actually receive your $600 stimulus check and possibly going forward your $2,000 stimulus checks with an actual debit card mailed to you in the mail. So I suggest that you don't throw away any mail that could possibly have a stimulus check debit card on it, and make sure you're checking all your mail, because last time around there were tens of thousands of people that threw these away by accident. The Treasury Department announced Thursday that approximately 8 million second stimulus payments will be mailed out this week in the form of prepaid debit cards. The debit cards, called EIP cards, Economic Impact Payments Card, are issued by MetaBank and arriving in a white envelope that prominently displays the U.S. Department of the Treasury seal. The cards themselves have Visa on them on the front and MetaBank on the back. The envelope will also include instructions for activating the cards. Also, if you got a debit card the first time around, it looks like those will not be reloaded. But personally, if you have one, I wouldn't throw it away. I would just put it in a drawer somewhere just in case something changes in the future, because honestly, they're changing things by the day. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. A lot of people are frustrated right now on either delayed stimulus payments for the second stimulus check, or the possibility that they won't receive it and will have to receive it through a tax rebate on their taxes for 2020 that most people haven't filed yet. Let me know down below in the comments if you haven't received your $600 stimulus check and why you think it may have been delayed. It will help out a lot of our viewers. We'll be going over some of the details right now. First of all, the IRS says that they sent millions of payments to wrong bank accounts, that the IRS inadvertently sent payments to over 13 million bank accounts that are no longer open or valid, according to Jackson Hewitt. Other preparation companies have released statements blaming the IRS for mix-ups and delays in their payments. Quote, unfortunately, because of an IRS error, millions of payments were sent to the wrong accounts, and some may not have received their stimulus check, TurboTax wrote in a statement. But they have been working tirelessly on a solution with the Treasury and the IRS. Also on the screen here, I got who is eligible for these. Basically, you aren't eligible if you were claimed as a dependent, if you don't have a social security number, you're a non-resident, you died before 2020, or you're an estate or a trust, or you made over $75,000 to $99,000. Everybody else should be receiving a stimulus check of $600, including children that are under the age of 17. So you can kind of see this on the screen here. You can pause this if you want to. But if you're unemployed, you also should be receiving the $600 stimulus check also. The IRS says here that the non-filers tool is no longer available. This is for people who didn't file a tax return previously. If you are eligible for a payment and did not receive one, the recovery rebate credit, which is basically your stimulus check is actually a rebate credit, will be claimed on line 30 of your 2020 tax return. It's still unclear who may or may not be affected for not getting the stimulus check and having to claim it as a tax rebate on your 2020 taxes, which you are able to file here in January. Also, I recommend you go to the IRS Get My Payment tool. Just go to Google and just Google IRS Get My Payment tool. The page looks like this. Go to the Get My Payment tool and actually go through it and just log in and see if they have an update for you on your payment. They say that they updated one time overnight. And basically, if you check it in the morning, you don't need to check it again until the next morning. It only updates overnight one time per day. The Democrats have already begun laying the groundwork for their big budget plans going forward for their Social Security increase of $200 per month, the $2,000 third stimulus check that did already pass the House, but Mitch McConnell delayed it. Now that Mitch McConnell will no longer be Senate Majority Leader, they will be able to pass this here within the next upcoming days. And honestly, the $2,000 stimulus check is just going to be the start of it. We're not sure yet if it's going to be $1,400 or a full $2,000 plus the $600, which would actually make the $600 and then $2,000 on top of that for the second and the third stimulus check. Senate Democrat leader who will become the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, immediately called for reviving an effort to provide $2,000 stimulus checks. A pandemic relief package enacted earlier this month gave us $600, and they now want to increase that to $2,000. Quote from Chuck Schumer: "One of the first things that I want to do when our new senators are seated is deliver the $2,000 stimulus checks to American families." This is also interesting, too. Democrats also made it clear they intend to pass sweeping legislation through a procedure that avoids the risk of a Senate filibuster. That's where you need 60 votes to pass a bill. The procedural tool known as reconciliation allows legislation to pass with just a simple majority vote of 51 votes, as long as it has a budgetary impact, among other restrictions. Quote, "All options are on the table as we consider the best ways to address the crises at hand and lead our nation forward," House Budget Chairman John Yarmarth, a Democrat from Kentucky, said in a statement. Quote, "That includes potentially using the reconciliation to advance critical priorities for American families, such as multiple stimulus checks and stimulus packages going forward." This is interesting too. Both parties, Democrats and Republicans, have relied on the reconciliation rule to skirt the 60 vote threshold that is otherwise required in the Senate to advance legislation. Democrats used this procedure in 2010 to pass big chunks of the Obama administration's signature healthcare law, and Republicans used it in 2017 for tax overhaul. Quote, "All those people who got sweetheart deals over the last 4 years should understand there's a new sheriff in town," said Oregon Senator Ron Wyden, who would become the next Finance Committee chairman in the Democratic majority. "Obviously, reconciliation is something I'm going to be spending a lot of time on," Wyden told reporters. "This, of course, gives us an opportunity to have a very different set of choices, and that's what the election was all about in Georgia these last couple nights." Basically, what they're saying there is that they're going to be passing multiple stimulus packages, stimulus checks, unemployment, Social Security increases, everything that's on the Biden administration agenda, which is basically stimulus packages and stimulus checks until the pandemic is over, which we keep hearing is going to be basically fall or the end of 2021. They're going to pass that whether the Republicans like it or not, which they can do now that Mitch McConnell is no longer the Senate Majority Leader. So if you're a fan of stimulus checks and stimulus packages, get ready for a roller coaster ride, because there's going to be a lot passed now because Mitch McConnell is no longer the Majority Leader. So he basically can't block anything. So probably what they're going to do is they're going to first try to pass things without the reconciliation rule, which is 60 votes. They'll pass that first $2,000 stimulus check without that. We've heard from Republican senators that they already have enough support to pass that $2,000 stimulus check. It's just that Mitch McConnell blocked it. So they'll probably pass that here within the next upcoming days as soon as they can. And then they'll be working on more and more packages. Honestly, I think it's a very real possibility now with the Democrats in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency when Biden comes in, that there's a very real possibility for monthly stimulus checks. And I'm not just talking about unemployment monthly checks, which is technically weekly checks, but we could see real stimulus checks on a monthly basis going forward. If you remember, we had multiple Democrats, senators, and House representatives and Vice President elect Kamala Harris, who used to be a Democratic senator, calling for $2,000 per month stimulus checks until the pandemic is over. So, honestly, that actually becomes a very real possibility now. But I think it'll start with a third stimulus check of $2,000, and then we'll kind of go from there. This is as we just hit a new all time high of deaths just a few days ago, again, with new virus deaths in the US. And the second and third strains are now entering the US. And honestly, things aren't really getting better in 2021. So, unfortunately, if things don't get better, that means more stimulus. And now we don't have Mitch McConnell blocking anything. So, it's almost kind of like a stimulus free for all. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I will be keeping you updated with all these breaking news and everything going forward. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel down below. It's completely free to do so with the bell icon on to all notifications. New videos come out typically at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and occasionally at 11 p.m. Thanks for watching. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And my wife just did a video on our second channel, The Daily Dirt, about the Trump impeachment. Click that next also and subscribe there if you haven't yet also. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.